Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of Actionable Insights. My name is Joseph and I'm going to share with you something that, is quite frankly near and dear to my heart. My own experiences and the story really of how you can benefit from them. These actionable insights that you can put into practice today, because my goal is to empower you as a merchant to sell more and to be more effective in this battle, this competition online as it frankly continues to heat up. As we've discussed quite a little in a previous episode, I want to take another look, but really from a different perspective, a very different perspective to this super important question of why would I want to buy from you? It's the unspoken question that our customers, the visitors, those who come to our website are constantly asking. Why would I want to buy from you? Especially if I have other options, for example, Amazon or any one of these other large distributors or marketplaces online. In fact, I cannot remember the store by name, but I recently heard of a brand that was opening a brick and mortar store, physical retail location, because the cost of online selling was so high. Frankly, or if I could put this bluntly, I really do find it naive, uninformed, maybe immature in the form of still needing to mature as a brand continues to grow, so immaturity in that way, when someone wants to begin just online simply because the overhead is so much less. Instead of spending money on rent for physical location, you give it really to Google or Facebook in the form of ads. They're happy to take the money. Developers, as they build out this experience to keep up with your competition, to give your customers the tools, the features that they need, and really your employees to keep customers happy. That said, we're not here to discuss the comparison of online versus offline, whether you should be launching retail stores or not. That's up to you. Work through that decision yourself. But what I want to share with you is something that I think will apply in both scenarios, online or offline. You see, in a world where businesses struggle and really grasp at anything they can do to set themselves apart from the competition, I know, I've been there, I've done that, and I continue to do this. We look for new and fresh ideas. These new and fresh ideas can be super valuable, but what I find very often is these ideas are scary. They seem unapproachable. They seem like the cost of implementing them is too high, and frankly, some of them would be. But I want to present this idea to you today. In this episode number 4, where's the teeth? What teeth do you put into your value proposition to prove to your customers that you mean and are serious about this offering that you are selling online? So here's the story. I'm a merchant, and I love most every minute of it. Of course, there's always those little downsides, but this is a big passion of mine. You see, about 20 years ago, I began programming when I was about 10. You can do the math, and I might be a little bit younger than you. I don't know. Close to 10 years ago, though, I began exclusively focusing on this online commerce platform called Magento. I demonstrated what I had learned by achieving Magento certifications. In my preparation to pass these certifications, I wrote pages and pages of notes. I mean, literally, in some cases, it was 50 pages of Word notes or 100 pages of Word notes. I would go through the application line by line in that code, figure out what was going on, and I would write it up. And to be frank, it was fairly easy to pass the certifications once I had invested so many hours and hours in studying. So I thought, hey, I'm just going to share this. Maybe other people would find this valuable. Ultimately, thousands of people found this information valuable. And this provided the platform, starting out free, working to paid, from which I began my online store, and I continue to grow it. Now, you're probably not interested in Magento certifications, and that's 100% fine. I wouldn't expect you to be. This is not a sales pitch. But you are probably interested in growing your store. So again, Actionable Insights is about sharing stories, and this is the story of my findings that I would like to share with you today. Here's the deal. Let's look at it from a customer's perspective, one of my customers. Let's say your boss tells you, that you need to become Magento certified. Well, of course, the first thing you're going to do is type into this all-knowing Google, question something about how to prepare for the Magento 2 Certified Associate Developer test, something along those lines. You might land on our website. Well, you're going to be asking yourself, who is SwiftOtter? Like, why would you want to buy from us? What really is SwiftOtter offering? You might even have some other questions. But what if one of the first things you saw on our website is that I will only keep your money if you pass the test? Now, that would be considered a guarantee. I'm going to turn this question around to you later in this show, this episode. But here's the first question you're probably thinking. How much money would I lose when everybody returns everything that they ordered? I mean, seriously, that could shut down my entire business. And then I'm going to go bankrupt. And then my family starves. And then we're going to be homeless. Yeah, done incorrectly it could. But this is the story of how this has actually helped me. And I have numbers to prove this. Will this revolutionize your business? Frankly, I hope so. If you take what I'm talking about, maybe in a different form, it's not going to have to look exactly like what I've done. In fact, I'm going to share 2 forms that my guarantee has taken on. But what I am asking of you today is consider, listen, have an open mind to what I am sharing with you and see how, if and how that can benefit your business. It might be this step that none of your other competitors are willing to make. But as you slowly but surely test the waters, as you work through this over the course of time, I think you will have a good idea if and how well this will work for you. I have experimented with 2 offers, 2 types of guarantees. I started in the beginning with a pass guarantee. You pass this test or I will return the money you paid to me. Yet, it's funny, that's literally how I started this out, with that pass guarantee. I'd actually never until recently tested to see if this improved sales or not. So I ran a test to see how this helped. And here are some of the numbers. Bounce rate was 5% lower. Yeah, that's a little bit. It's decent. Here's the important point. Conversion rate was up 25%. Revenue is up 11%. For all age demographics, the conversion rate was improved. Now, as I look at those numbers, the conversion rate is up by 25%, but the revenue is up only 11%. This tells me that I actually have an opportunity for upsells, because it seems like for this offering, people are choosing lower priced versus going with higher priced offerings. An optimization that we're going to talk about in a future episode. All right, so let's talk about, why do people like a guarantee? Put yourself in these shoes. Why would you like a guarantee? It says a couple of things. Number 1, it says that we take our products seriously. Guarantees are tough because we have to face it. They rely on the end user's performance. Will they actually follow the instructions as we lay these instructions out? Tell them what to do. Are they actually going to do it? Are they going to be reasonable with us? If our products are bad, though, it shows that we are willing to lose money, and we're going to have to either drop our guarantee or fix the products up, ideally the latter. In other words, we are putting teeth behind our value proposition. If we are not living up to what we are offering our customers, these teeth are going to start hurting. It's going to start pinching. It's going to start maybe ripping some flesh out of our business. And customers see that, and they say this company is willing to stand behind their products, and as such, they must be worth something. Number 2, it eliminates or reduces, one of the two, the customer's risk. They know that if this product does not perform as expected, they have recourse. It's not like going and buying on many small shops nowadays where the return policy is 20% restocking fee. You pay all shipping going back. Customer knows that if in this type of a situation, they had better order the right size the very first time, well, they're going to pay dearly for it. They're going to lose a lot of money off of this purchase. In my case, I do hope that the customers are motivated to use this product as expected. So in my case, this is certification preparation materials. This stuff ranges from anywhere from $12, actually $10, all the way up to $200, maybe actually a little bit more. And if they do not follow through with what I suggest them doing, they're going to not only lose out, well, they will for sure lose out on the money that they pay to Magento, where they are actually getting the certification. Obviously, I will refund the money that they paid to me. But still, they will always lose something if they fail the test. But having this recourse, having this assurance goes a long ways. You see, my customers know that I can say something. I can put out the best marketing hype in the world. Well, frankly, I'm not the best at that. But I want the product to live up to expectations. And if it doesn't, the customers have recourse. Of course, they can go out and bad name my company, whatever. This is a very easy tool for anybody in this world nowadays. But wouldn't we rather have a way that encourages, invites customers to interact with us so we can resolve the problem? And I'm not talking about just patching over, trying to cover over it, trying to stuff down the bad publicity. No, this guarantee creates a feedback mechanism, unlike maybe anything else, where we can know how our products are actually performing. You see, we had one particular test that seemed to get more failures than the others. Customers emailed, said, hey, I failed the real test. And I really, it pains me every time I get an email like that, because that's the last thing in the world I want. I want my products, when used correctly, if somebody abuses them, whatever, I can't really help that. But I want my products, when used correctly, to help the customer know that they're going to either pass or fail the real test. And if my product does not live up to the expectations, that frustrates me. But it doesn't just frustrate me. I need to do something about that. So in this case, I reviewed the practice test assessment to say whether the customer is ready or not to take the test. And I found some areas that I could beef up. It helped. I noticed a marked difference, literally immediately. This guarantee, from your perspective, you as a merchant, will provide a shortcut to customer feedback. It really helps. I was actually, a couple weeks ago, I was in Amsterdam at Magento Live Europe. Fantastic conference. And I was walking back to the hotel. I really enjoyed one aspect of Amsterdam. Everybody walks or bikes everywhere, including in the rain. Get that. But as I was walking back to the hotel with somebody, and they happened to know about what we offered, our certification helps, that sort of thing. And I said, so how does this guarantee, this past guarantee, make a difference in your desire to purchase materials from us? And they said it really makes a difference. So that was even face-to-face conversation about this. All right, so the question, again, probably burning on your mind is, how much has this cost me? Less than 3% of people who had purchased from us requested a refund due to a failed test. Less than 3%. In fact, from one of the numbers I was looking at recently, it's way less than even that. Retail returns, so returns to physical brick and mortar stores, are often 10%. So 3% is not horrible, I would suppose. But still, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I dislike even 3%, as I know that these 3% purchased my materials and then went out and failed the test. However, I do get this very valuable feedback from every fail. Why? Because I use this guarantee as a way to obtain customer feedback. I have found it is so difficult otherwise to get customer feedback. It's like pulling teeth. Because I ask for some information as part of the guarantee, I help customers to know that in order to get their money back, they need to do a couple of things. First, they need to send me their test scores. This allows me to see how they did when taking a practice test. And in fact, I've worked really hard to collect these scores, and I built a machine learning algorithm to compare their practice test scores with real world scores. The goal being, I can predict and actually fairly accurately, or I would say even very accurately predict how well they will do on the real test. This has really helped me to see that differences, anomalies. So if they would say get a 50% score on the practice test, what if they were to get a 40% on the real test? Obviously, 50% is not great, 40% is even worse. But what if they were to get a 90% on the practice test and a 50% on the real test? I need to know those variations. It helps me to understand then where I need to beef up the practice test, where I need to make it better, what materials I need to improve on in order to make this as good of a help as possible. I track every single pass or fail that I learn from on a Google Sheet. I see for every certification how we're doing and thus where I need to improve. So yes, a guarantee for me has cost me approximately 3% of my revenue, but the value I have gained from the immediate feedback is, honestly, I think it's way more than any revenue I have ever lost. Your number may be more than 3%. Maybe it could be 10%. So you have to run the numbers. We're going to talk about some of those numbers later, but you have to run the numbers to see, how is this financially viable for me? How does this work? Is this beneficial in my situation? A good question is, how do I reduce this number? How do I get it as low as possible? Of course, as I find deficiencies, as I learn from my customers, I must fix them. So critical. If we keep selling bad products, it's really a bad idea to have a guarantee, because we're going to keep refunding this customer's money, more customers' money. Maybe we might be able to keep some bad publicity out of the press because of this, but it's overall a really bad strategy. But here's another strategy. So other than fixing these problems, how else can I help reduce this 3% number, whatever your return rate number is for your business? Something I found is very important is education. If somebody literally buys the materials for a test that they should never take, they are more likely, or I would maybe even say most likely, to fail. And the more failures there are, the more returns I get. I'm not worried about that as much for me, because frankly, a lot of this is a learning experience for me. And that's one reason I just love it. The more I can reduce this, it's a learning avenue for me. How can I give customers the very best experience as possible? So in the past couple of months, I begun a serious education campaign. I've been building out my YouTube, my LinkedIn presence with really solid and helpful information for what certification to try for, how to pass it, what type of questions, not the questions on the test, but what type of questions on the test, etc. All of this is freely available through these channels. As such, I have received more feedback, more ways as how I can improve this information through the interaction with people. They have a question, I can answer it, as well as direct them to a video if applicable, or if I don't have a video, I can create a video and not only educate the person who asked this question, but educate maybe who knows how many more. The other thing is, we wrote an email. People would take the practice test 50 times or more and then fail. So when somebody first takes the practice test, I send this email to them automatically. And the email suggests that people spend time learning, working through this system instead of just memorizing information. Because that's kind of key to passing a Magento certification, right? I mean, certification is a proof of knowledge. It is not just a piece of paper that you can wave around in your client's face saying, hey, I know what I'm talking about, when, oh, by the way, I did cheat on this test, So it's really important to ensure that instead of trying to memorize questions, which the sad thing is they're not even found on the real test, it's about education. Okay, my friends, here is how you need to prepare for this certification. Here's what you need to do to pass this certification. Again, the practice test is just an assessment. It's just testing these objectives, knowledge around these objectives. Of course, the test is covering the same objectives, but the questions are going to be very different. I mean, they're not going to be the same questions. If you memorize the wrong set of questions, you're going to fail as you go take the real test. As a result of implementing that one email at customer education, the number of guarantee invocations has plummeted. Education. So not only broad, widespread education before somebody purchases, but even after they purchase, are we educating them through this process? All right, so we've talked about a lot of stuff so far. Maybe I should have split this up into 2 episodes. But I want to talk about a few more things here related to guarantees. What type of guarantee do we use? You see, I see 2 different types, and both of them have worked for us. And I'm still experimenting with which one is most effective. The first type of guarantee is what I would describe as a pass guarantee or an in-context guarantee. So I call it a pass guarantee for my business, but for you, you would probably look at it as in context. It's a type of guarantee that matches the products that you're selling. Maybe, well, here would be a crazy over-the-top example. You buy this pair of running shoes, and we guarantee you will be able to run a sub 8-minute mile or your money back. It's crazy, but it's a type of guarantee. And these running shoes are going to perform so well for you or your money back. More realistic example is maybe you accidentally get this shirt wet, or you're traveling, you're washing the shirt every night in the sink. It will dry within 30 minutes or your money back. Maybe you can buy this software product. It will save you, we guarantee you 15 minutes a day, or we're going to give your money back. In my case, if you don't pass this test, I will give you a full refund of what you paid to us. Again, this is between $10 and $200. This guarantee is directly associated with what they want to achieve. The great part about this, again, is that I get this full loop of information. What works, what doesn't work. And I can understand how I can improve. And to be frank, the offerings, our products, have significantly improved over this, year and a half that we've been offering them because of this constant iteration of feedback. The thing is, with this in-context guarantees, this type must be quantifiable. This is the benefit we guarantee you will see as a result of this purchase. So, is this applicable to everything? 100% not. But could this be applicable to you, your situation? Absolutely. It takes creativity. Is your type of guarantee needed? An in-context guarantee. Let's look at another type of guarantee. This second one would be what I would consider to be a blanket guarantee, like 100% satisfaction guarantee. If for any reason you do not like this product, you will get your money back. We might see this most often in situations where you necessarily can't achieve an outcome, or often an outcome is outside of a normal person's arm's reach. Maybe we would see this on ebooks or courses or online materials. For example, it would be pretty hard to guarantee that somebody will become a proficient painter, make a beautiful painting because they completed the projects outlined in a tutorial. But however, what you want to see for your user is progress. Progress means satisfaction. So then they are satisfied. If they don't see progress, or if they don't want to proceed with this venue of training, then they can get their money back. They have recourse. I hate to say this, but this also kind of takes on the form of free returns. Big brands, Zappos, Casper, Reebok, etc., Amazon, of course, offer this. Yet the challenge for retailers is that the price of return shipping is so great, especially as people, for example, buy multiple sizes of shoes and literally bring the physical store to their own home. I get this as a challenge. It's expensive, but what I want to do is to provoke you to think through what you can try, how you can see what works. See if the impact to your sales are worth the impact, if any, to your bottom line. If you grow your sales exponentially, say double your sales, or at least 20, 30% increase your sales, and maybe maintain your same return rate, is it worth it? Is it not? It's a numbers game at that moment in time. Could I challenge you as a result of this episode to think, how can you make this work versus nope, I can't? How do we display this guarantee on our website? Now that we've hopefully figured out what type of guarantee, the next question is where and how and when we display this. When, meaning I haven't displayed guarantee statements on my home or category pages. The reason is I want to help the user get to where they want to go and then give them supplemental information that they might say, hey, I want to buy this product. Depending on the guarantee, you might want to put it on the category page or the home page. The way you will know this is through experimentation, through A/B tests. I really am frankly guessing, though, you wouldn't notice a big difference by placing this on the home page. Just my thoughts. I have displayed my guarantees in two ways. First, by embedding it in the text on the page, so it's fairly subtle. And secondly, by calling attention to it in a call out on the sidebar. For starting out, though, if you are as concerned as to how this is going to work, am I going to have 100% of my customers return this product? Which, by the way, would show no confidence in the products you're selling, which might mean you might need to invest some more R&D into this product. If you're concerned about it, though, put it on the product details page. Don't hide it, but make it so that people will see it, especially those who are interested, who are reading the information on the page, but don't make it the most prominent thing on your product page. Run a Google Optimized experiment. Super easy to do. Watch how this affects your revenue, transaction rate, and bounce rate, conversion rate and bounce rate. Are you seeing positive trends on these metrics? The next thing, though, is to watch how many customers take you up. You'll probably notice, or you'll probably next be thinking about how you will know that your customers saw this guarantee. It's a good question. The easiest is to not care. Someone calls you up asking you to make good on your guarantee. Ask them how you can improve, write it down, track it, then make it good. Make good on that guarantee. If you need to know who has seen this guarantee versus who has not, you'll probably need a developer to help out. Make a customization to the order process. Unfortunately, out of the box in Magento, I'm not sure on BigCommerce or Shopify, there's not a way to do this. Once you are comfortable with this minimally published guarantee, step it up. Make every single visitor know what you're offering. Now, how does that look and work? I tested this. So historically speaking, my guarantees were fairly subtle, but they were there, especially for those who were really interested to learn and see what was going on. So I tested this. I said, okay, what is it going to look like if I start out with this subtle guarantee and test it against making it really big on the sidebar? I saw a 24% increase in revenue when I made this guarantee bold and upfront. 24%. The bounce rate also decreased a little, not by much. So it seemed that people saw the guarantee either way, but they also saw I was really serious about it. I'm making it front and center for them. One other little side thing here. Many websites will post a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Great. Isn't that exactly what we're talking about here today? No, because they don't say how to make good on it. They don't say what this entails. Or in fact, it might not really be a guarantee. It's just something, or the terms and conditions are just there so they can keep their rears covered and not get too many returns at the cost of customer happiness. We've gone way up over and above for our company, our policies, our rules to ensure customer happiness. Customers are happy with the product that we offer. All right, let's make this practical. As we wind this episode up, how can you take this insight that I have shared with you? How can you take action on it today? Here's a couple of things to consider. Number one, what should we think about when building our own guarantee? I suggest starting at the worst case scenario. What is your current return rate? What would happen if you doubled that? What increase in sales would it take to justify this? You're going to have to spend some time in a spreadsheet working out these answers. Unless you are Hoover in 1992, go look at our show notes, actionableinsights.fm/episode 4, actionableinsights.fm/episode 4. If you are a Hoover in 1992 or you sell really bad products, you are unlikely to hit your worst case scenario. In fact, I would venture to guess that you could safely halve your worst case scenario, and that would still likely be too high. Before I started my online business, if you would ask me about guarantees, I would have estimated it to be way higher than 3%. 3% could be for you, could be 10%. Hopefully it's less. Remember, every guarantee, every customer that makes good on your guarantee is telling you something. They're talking to you, even if they don't say a word. You need to pry it out of them. You need to fetch it out of them. This is the most incredible, ideal venue to understand how you can improve your products. If you sell physical products, what shipping concerns must you account for? And I would say this is probably the most difficult or sticking point of this whole discussion. If you sell physical products, customers will expect free returns. A return shipment can be easily $10 to $15 in the US. It could wipe out your profit for not this order. Remember, you're returning their money, but for another order that as you just returned your customer's money. It's a numbers game. You have to work out the details of this. Can you get a good deal with your shipping carrier for your shipments? If you are in the United States, I suggest making sure you exclude Alaska and Hawaii from this guarantee. Unfortunately, our friends that are a little bit further away in the United States, they don't usually get the same benefits that others in the continental US do because shipping is so much more expensive there. Do you have an avenue to improve the products that you sell? Whether you are a marketplace or a creator, a guarantee done right can be very powerful. Bed Bath & Beyond was probably the greatest example of a marketplace with a guarantee. Sadly, over the last couple of years, that even hasn't worked overly well for them, and you see them pulling back their policies, their guarantees. Those policies, those guarantees that had propelled them to massive growth up until about 2015, 2016. Something happened, something changed. I hope to look into that in a separate future episode. What happened with Bed Bath & Beyond? If you run a marketplace, what will set you apart from Amazon? How can you let your customers know that? Remember, these teeth that we're talking about, that could be that element that would allow you to set yourself apart from such a customer-centric, customer-focused organization like Amazon. Maybe you can do it. If you're a content creator, like me, you have an immediate avenue to improving your product offering. So do it. Don't rest on your laurels. Do it. Get out there, learn from your customers, and improve your products. Make sure you really follow through on your guarantee. Is there a time limit? Is there some type of other limitations that you need to impose on your guarantee? Now, I'm not talking about complete 100% satisfaction guarantee like LL Bean used to have for the lifetime of your product. Evaluate policies to make this financially prudent. At least on paper, you don't want to have indefinite liability to your customers. Start small. Start with a 7-day satisfaction guarantee. Work up to a 14-day guarantee, maybe a 1-month guarantee. As you get experience for how this is going to work. In addition, I say this, just take this with a grain of salt, but nothing really states that you must always hold to your policies. Now, policies can be thrown into a customer's face. It won't make them happy. They never understand it, but a policy can be a policy. And of course, we can always say, well, if we do this for you, we're going to need to do this for everybody. Does that work? Not from a customer's perspective, but from a merchant's perspective, yes. However, you can always give a little extra leeway to your customer. The most important thing is that you delight them, that you make them thrilled with this offering that you have. All right, so as we finally wrap this episode up, it's a little longer than normal, but I'm especially passionate about this guarantees because I believe it could radically transform your business. The big takeaway is what teeth can you put into your value proposition so the customer knows you are going to receive pain, you are going to obtain some suffering, you're bringing it on yourself if this product does not work, does not perform in the way that you say it will. It's like marketing on steroids. You can promise the world to a customer, but if buying this product does not give them the world, it was a lie. And customers feel that. I feel that when I purchase a product. It's like, man, that was a piece of junk. But can you put some teeth into your offerings so the customer knows, wow, these people are serious about what they're selling? If you don't have a guarantee, I suggest being creative. What would work for your store? Guarantees are by no means a one-size-fits-all sort of deal. Instead, you need to implement what is workable, what is viable for you. Start small and test. If you don't test, you're going to have no idea. I mean, this guarantee could cost you a fortune if done improperly. But start small, work through this. Meticulously track those who take you up on the guarantee and why. Not just, oh, yep, we had another person return a product. No, but why is this person taking you up? This is going to help you understand where you need to improve. All right. In summary, it has been my pleasure to spend this time with you. I hope you've seen my passion, my excitement about this. It has helped me. I hope my story helps you. But more importantly, not just something that's interesting to listen to, but that you take action on these insights that we've discussed today. Do it. Go sit down, put it on your monthly to-do list or your to-do list for this month. We're about to close out the year. What a no better time to begin researching, to investigate, and to launch this guarantee January 1 of 2020. We're beginning a new decade. What better time is there than to actually start this process of improving your store? This podcast is literally available on every podcast syndication platform, Apple, Google, etc. Please make sure that you have subscribed to this podcast. And even better, something that means a lot to me, is if you take some time to review it. It might just take a minute or two. It would mean a tremendous amount if you'd give me a 5-star review. I'd be so grateful. Our detailed show notes are available with screenshots, actionableinsights.fm/episode 4. actionableinsights.fm/episode 4. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, week, day, whatever. Whenever you listen to this, you have a fantastic day.